Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Peter Brown, the host of Big Puffin Broadcasting Center, and today we will be covering a multitude of subjects surrounding the dress code and people's thoughts on them. Stay tuned and you'll see a multitude of interviews of very special individuals giving you their view and perspective. Alrighty, let's get started. Woo!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Big Puffin Broadcasting Center. Today we have a very special guest, the one and only Braden Tyson. And today we will be covering the dress code. Now, as you know, as a New Oxford Colonial, we have a set dress code in place that has been deeply debated by both staff and students. So we were just wondering, what is your perspective on the dress code?
I would actually say my perspective on the dress code is different than I'd say most guys or girls. I actually do think that we need a dress code. While I think our dress code, there's too many restrictions, I think as long as we took away some of the restrictions, then that'd be fine. But at the end of the day, I do still think we need a dress code. Like girls with their shoulders out, I mean, I don't find anything wrong with that. But some of the stuff that you see girls and guys wearing, and when they're wearing stuff up to here, at the end of the day, it is a distraction. If you took two girls or two guys and have them wear the same outfit, say, I don't know, a teacher, we were wearing the same outfit, and a teacher liked you and hated me, they would be more likely to enforce the dress code on me just because they don't like me, rather than enforce it on you because they like you and they can let it slide.
So you would say there's a standard of bias in between punishment and dress code?
Yes, I think right now we're in the middle. It's we want to have a dress code, but no one's enforcing it. So we either need to completely enforce the dress code or completely just not have a dress code. Because I think right now the problem is we say there's a dress code, but nothing's done to anyone if they break it. So
Alrighty, that is all the time we have with Mr. Tyson. He is a very busy man, as we know. Thank you, sir,
Thank
you for coming on to Big Puffin Broadcasting Center.
All right, I'm going to cut all the crap and just go right to the stuff we want to know. What are your opinions as a male teacher of enforcing the dress code for the female student population?
I honestly think it's incredibly awkward at times as a male teacher, because as a male adult, there are times that you have to address a female teenager about possibly things that shouldn't be showing that are showing.
Right.
Definitely aspects of the dress code that with females, it's very difficult, it's very awkward, and also even just to identify that it is an issue is kind of awkward as well, because that means you had to see something that you probably shouldn't have seen.
And now we will be cutting to the weather, sponsored by Manscaped, the Lawnmower 3.0, presented to you by Daniel Trejo. All right, Danny, what's the weather looking like for this evening? Danny? What's the temperature like today?
Hi.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I am Peter Brown from Big Puffin Broadcasting Center, and I find myself in a very special position of going out into the field today. I am talking to Miss Joanna Knott, who has been with us all the way from 4th to 6th grade and now has made her way to the high school.
I have.
Alrighty, today we are talking about the dress code, as we talked about off screen. As a female teacher,
Yes.
and as a feminist, I'm sure you can...
Am I?
As
I am
stated.
now.
You have the perspective of sexualization of young women in society, especially because public education is just one big societal experimentation, experiment. Would you say that we need to start, instead of enforcing our young women to conform to these modest, as described as by the administration, modest expectations of clothing and garbs, instead more so teaching our young men not to sexualize women, not to always be in a position where they are objectifying?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the things where gender plays a huge role in dress code is the idea that girls in particular need to dress with a certain decorum or modesty or self-respect. The idea that I believe almost the opposite. Like, you are respecting yourself when you are expressing yourself in a way that is right for you. And so your dress is your form of self-respect. So imposing somebody else's perception of that, I think, is dangerous. So I think, yes, this idea of modesty and self-respect, I have an issue with that. However, what I don't have an issue is when dress code talks about language on shirts, images on shirts, like images of the clothing, whether it be instigating or, triggering for other people, racist, what have you. Like, I think the shape of the clothes is a much different conversation than what's actually on the clothes and the messages that we're sending with literal words. So I think there is a place for that kind of dress code, that you will not wear something that is going to, ostracize, or, it's not going to belittle others, or it's not going to incite violence or whatever. However, the shape of the clothes, I think, excuse me, it is very sexist in a way that, let's just teach the guys to control their behaviors, their words, their actions. So you can't control thoughts, obviously. So if a female, no matter what her age, shape, or size, is wearing anything, we can't control the way any men around her, or women for that matter, are going to react to that person. But what we can control is how they speak to them, how they do or do not touch them, and how they talk about their bodies or their outfits. And I think that's the problem. Like, let's talk to, and I say boys, and I don't even mean that, because it can be girls at this point too, just the respect of others. I think that's the issue. It's not the respect of self. I can wear what I want to wear while still respecting myself. What I need is for you to respect me too. And I think that's the real conversation. And I think a dress code is just a very flimsy, very short-sighted way to control our respect. Of not having a dress code, it's all about education, respect, and honoring each other, honoring yourself and honoring each other for who they are. About me.
No. Alrighty, that's all the time we have for today. This was Big Puffin Broadcasting Center. Thank you. Welcome in back from the field to Big Puffin Broadcasting Center. I'm Peter Brown, and today we have another special guest, Alice Still, addressing the topics of the dress code at New Oxford High School. So first off, I'd like to start, have you ever been dress coded as an individual?
I've never been formally dress coded, but I have been, como se dice, yelled at for it.
Yelled at, okay.
Okay, scolded.
Fascinating. So would you say that as a female specifically, that you have felt that the dress code is more biased towards women?
Yeah.
Really? Would you say, like, through your experiences of being, like, voluntold to wear something else, that was either discriminative towards you, or?
I think both in my experience, but and also just how it's written in general.
Okay. So more so, my question is, do you feel that we should change the dress code by either enforcing it harder or just letting it go? Because right now we're set at a mute point.
I think the dress code the way it is right now should be completely gone back to the drawing board. And
a lot of it goes back to how did we get to this point? And points that have been brought up before is that it's changing our way in how we teach young men. I full-heartedly stand behind this, that instead of teaching girls you have to cover every ounce of you or else it's scandalous, we start teaching our young men that it is more true meaning of being a gentleman.
Yeah.
Is not trying.
It's a body, it's not a sexual object that you need to be.
Exactly. That's about all the time we have for today. So thank you, Ms. Still, for
You're
coming
welcome.
on. And this is Big Puffin Broadcasting Center checking out.
What do you want me? I already
God. Okay, give me the mic.
No.
Oh my
You guys just deemed me field reporter. This is your
The man behind the scenes. Where he goes, we follow him. Come back here. Alright, we're not recording anything else. Come back here. Right. What do you have to say?
What thou may think heaven so great. Was made from man.
The wild call of the Trejo.
Faustus!